sometimes selling rice, sometimes working as a laborer. I ran away from home 4 times to work as a farmer. I got nothing but deception, yet he still has his own car. It was initially manufactured. The price and quality were so low. He was ridiculed and flopped. He forced me not once but many times, climbing up and falling back to the ground as if it had become a habit, and this habit had made him like this. It strengthened me that this boy was the world. Once again flattered by Hyundai, the third largest car manufacturing company in the world. Nazarene Chung-ju-young was a member of the Republic of Korea in 1915. He was born in a village called Tongcheon. This village is now in North Korea. The whole of Korea used to be one country. Chang, who ruled Japan with his 7 children. He was the eldest of his siblings and suffered from poverty because the whole family worked in the fields. At the age of just 14, Chang was forced into poverty, due to which he had to drop out of school and started working in the fields. He started working with his parents. I work in the fields all day, but I don't earn money. I could earn so much despite working. He had to go to bed hungry for many days. The situation made him think, will he stay in this condition for the rest of his life? He was tired of his life to earn a living, and finally he ran away from home and became 100. I went to the city of Kwan, 100 kilometers away, and there he worked as a laborer with construction workers. He started working very hard but did not get money. He earned little, but even in this condition he earned a lot. He was happy because he was earning money. He used to spend it alone, and secondly, he was free now. But this freedom, he could only last 2 months. His parents came to Kwan, looking for him, and Chang's men found him and took him back to the village. I took away the happiness that I felt for the first time. I was sent back to work in the fields. But in reality, he experienced city life. He had tasted pleasure again in every situation. Do not live the life of the village or the farm. After that, he cheated on her twice and tried to run away but was caught and returned. I came to the village and started working. A year passed like this, that the harvest was very bad and the whole village was in a food shortage. The situation had reached this point, that I had to stay hungry for several days. I thought that it was enough. He was here for something. Surat will not stay there anymore, that he is away from home for the 4th time. He started planning to run away, and this time it was his last attempt to escape. He reached Seoul, which is today South Korea. It is as if it was the capital of his life. I had decided to leave the village and go to the city. I have to settle down, and then I have to do any work. After coming to Seoul, he did not work at all. He left the job of a laborer in construction. Even the factory workers were busy cleaning. He also works very hard and wholeheartedly. After some time, he came to the rice shop, got a delivery job, and now he is doing people's work. I felt that doing home deliveries on a bicycle has increased the shop's sales a lot, and the shop owner happily gave Chung a gift. He made me the shop manager. It was his first. It was a job in which he got some wages. He didn't have to do that, and in a moment he increased the shop's sales a lot. In the meantime, the shop owner fell ill and was no longer able to run the shop. He sold his shop to Chang for a small amount of money. He sent the farm worker 4 times. The boy who ran away from home was only 22 years old. I became the owner of my shop. I worked very hard at my shop, and in a short time, his rice shop was the best in the area. It was considered the best shop, and she was very happy. But during this time, an incident happened, and this small happiness of hers was about to turn into sadness. On July 7, 1937, a Japanese soldier disappeared somewhere near the Marco Polo Bridge. He went, and Japanese soldiers came to find him and asked for permission to search for him in China. But when China refused to give them permission, he refused, the two fought, which is known in history as the Second Sino-Japanese War. It is said that wars are fought over small things. This war continued for the next 6 years, and there was a rice crisis in Japan and Korea. Now there is a shortage because Korea was also occupied by the Japanese Imperial Army at that time, so the Japanese government closed rice stores in Japan and Korea. To overcome the shortage, the company took over. Chang's order could be fulfilled in these stores. The rice store was also included and is now one. He became unemployed again 2 years later. His hard work and savings were all from zero. It increased many times, but Chang did not give up. He now started looking for a job that the Japanese army could not capture, shortlisted many ideas, and finally he opened a car repair shop. But the problem was that now Chang needed some money to start this job. I did not have any money. He lent me 3,000 rupees. And he started a new business called auto service. But as he thought, it is completely the opposite. He says trouble is coming. He does not ask before starting a new garage for the war. Suddenly a fire broke out in the garage, so the garage was in it. The fire also engulfed all the parked cars. I took it upon myself and took responsibility for all the losses. But this time Chang is in big trouble. The loan of 3,000 crore rupees was paid. He had to bear the brunt of both the losses, but he did not dare to do so. No, once again with a loan of 3,500 rupees, I slowly reopened the garage. Slowly I managed to recover all the losses. Now he has focused his attention on the growth of the business. He fought against it for the next 2 years. He kept growing, and he invited people to his garage. I started giving him jobs. He had 70. 80 people started working, and the growth was so much. She had already sent her entire family to the village. I was called from there and settled in Seoul City. But once again, a test is on us. It so happened that at that time World War II was going on. Japan was also involved in this war. Workshops were set up to make war equipment. There was a need, and that is why the Japanese government also took control of the workshops. The Japanese government started crying again. It took control of it, but this time the change was not zero, because last time he learned from his losses and kept the savings of 50,000 rupees with him so that he could start another business. After some time, World War II ended, and with it, the Japanese control of Korea was also the biggest obstacle in Chang's path. The blockade was lifted. Korea was now divided into two parts. It was divided into North Korea, South Korea. As soon as things returned to normal in 1946, Chang returned to the city of Seoul and started a car repair business again. This time with a new identity and a new name, he named the business Honda Auto Service, a Korean word meaning. Now modern Seoul, a part of South Korea, which was under American influence. American troops were often in South Korea. There was, and Chang observed that the American army had to build him buildings to accommodate the American troops. I thought I could start a construction business. If I could do that, I could make a lot of progress. So in 1947, he founded Honda Civil Works. He started a construction company called the Construction Company. The construction company was small at first. It was available to anyone to build houses or build roads a few kilometers ahead. This is enough for a new business, but this is it. I wanted to achieve big projects, but circumstances once again broke his thinking. On June 25, 1950, with the support of the Soviet Union, North Korea invaded South Korea and attacked Seoul. The city is close to the North Korean border. So Chang felt threatened, and Seoul. Bosun fled, but this time Chang did not give up. He fought the situation. He took stock and took advantage of the war situation and started thinking of a scheme to make money. He saw that the U.S. Army had come to help South Korea, and tents, warehouses, and some buildings for the army to live in, etc. were needed again for the war. He started a construction business and offered to the American officials that if the budget was right, he would provide any kind of construction services. America could provide because it was a superpower, and budget was never a problem for them. Chang's company was banned by the American authorities. The war and his team started giving orders. Every project is completed by working hard day and night. The advantage of this was that the war ended. This happened, but a good working relationship had been established between the Americans and Chang. Because Chang was close to the Ark, that's why Chang and it is also good in the South Korean government. There were many paths and relationships in this war. These bridges were destroyed by the South Korean government. Their reconstruction plans were given to the same company by Chang's company, Honda. It had progressed so much that, like mega dams, this company also built this project in the south. The largest dam in Korea, Sui, was also built by Honda. It was built by itself and the most. The Big Kubo Expressway is also owned by the same company. This was a success because Chang had a connection to the south. He was good with the Korean government. That's why the Americans also liked him. Heavy construction is used in construction. He can easily import machinery from the United States. Because of good relations, I took him. I was the first person to get contracts. A construction company should be established. But Chang was back to his old self. He wanted to go into the car business. This time, he did something bigger than car repair. In 1967, he started Honda Motors. The company started very soon after H. The partnership with the company had become a corner. At that time, the car was popular in the market, so he agreed to provide Fad's technology. We will collect using the Kona car, but the South Korean car market is quite small. It was small, according to an estimate. There was a market of only 30,000 cars, and there were no signs of growth. So the prospects were very small, started looking for a new partner, and soon created a car company in Ematsu AC.